Hello, friends. You may have noticed that it's been some time between all the things, but that's okay. I did have plans to finish up the piece from a few weeks ago and start on some new things, but the news is on, and the news has been on, and the news has been on like the last 2 weeks, and it's just been like a lot. And I don't know why the police keep murdering people, but I also don't know why they keep shoving it in our faces all the time. So it's just been a lot. Maybe we'll talk about it on a different video, but we're gonna go back to uploads. That's the takeaway. Right now, instead, I just wanted to talk to my cousin. My cousin is the best. She's the bee's knees, arguably the best cousin in the family, and there's like 60 of them. But they know this, it's fine. So, I don't know, maybe this will help someone because it was helpful for us, I think, to just talk about dumb things and fun things. And so maybe it'll help you guys too to just decompress and pretend that we don't live here because the earth is ghetto. So enjoy this. I'll also be working on rigs for a fun little test animation idea that I had. So enjoy watching that while I'm working on things. And hopefully I'll be able to put a little more effort into these because they're kind of like the laziest thing I've ever hit schedule on YouTube. But it's fine. It's all fine. It's all fine. This has been way too long. Enjoy Decompression. Part 1, maybe. I don't know. All right.
No way.
Love it.
No way.
All right.
Awesome.
Welcome, gang.
Welcome.
If you watched the Snyder Cut review that my dad and I did last week, then you're gonna love this one because it's not related at all, but I have another relative on with me and she's the bee's knees. We got Kacie, gang.
Hello, everyone.
Love it. Love it. Love it. So
the bee's knees, huh?
The bee's knees.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
So
Honored.
Yeah, here we go. I don't know what we're going to talk about.
I don't know. I was, I appreciated that warm up. That we were just kind of.
And so what's
okay.
good with you, fam? What's good?
Oh, that is, you know what? Today, I'm off,
We love that.
Off from my 9-to-5er. Bought this place last fall.
Oh, yeah.
And yes. Haven't had a lot of time to really do anything to it. And most of it is definitely laziness or just apathy. So today I was like, you know what? Let's be a little productive. And the sun's out. It's windy. I'm feeling good. So
yeah.
I'm just moving stuff from one room to another. It's actually pretty fascinating. And then I'm writing a little bit too, because I've been trying so hard to just keep up with writing something down. It doesn't matter what it is, but I really miss having that feeling where I'm like, well, this is important enough to me to journal down, and it could be literally 4 words, or it could be a couple of sentences, or a whole page.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get back on that horse again. So that's making me feel warm and fuzzy inside.
That sounds beautiful.
Yeah. So that is really it.
And I want to see your house because I haven't seen it yet. I've just heard you talk about it.
Oh yeah, and it's still in a disaster status, which is fine, but it's better than it was. Yeah, but I'm excited. So there's a room designated to my books and music and stuff that I just want to be able to, usher people into if they're wanting to be zen and write down some stuff or listen to some stuff really loudly, which is typically what I do. And
we love that. We love that.
Yes. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's still, there's just books that there's just junk. I don't know. I'm not a hoarder. I don't want to go all in and say, hey, this is me. Everybody's hearing me for the first time. I'm a hoarder. No, I just have a lot of things that are disorganized that I don't need. There's a, for instance, right now, there is a 550-piece puzzle of Where's Waldo. Where's Waldo and the Nasty Nasties? I don't know what year this came out.
All right.
But the box was white. There it is. 1991.
Okay.
I don't need this. But I have it nonetheless. So.
Do you like puzzles?
Not really.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So it's I don't know. How do I define It's like, I don't know, but I've had it for so many years now. I don't want to get rid of it, but I haven't fucking tried it out. But
Now,
it's been with me.
in a couple, like by next year, it's gonna be a family heirloom at that point, and you can't.
I
get rid of it.
know, and that's the thing. It doesn't really have any, there's no history. I'm not keeping it to hand down to like my other generations or anything, but it's damn it looks good in that office.
Just for the memes. Just keeping it
just for the memes. So we'll see how I feel about it. I'm slow to give stuff away, but I did give away one puzzle that I actually did do probably 8 years ago, and it was like the movie cover for the movie version of the Golden Compass.
I've never seen that.
Dude, me either. I read the book when I was in junior high, but I don't understand. I got it at, I think, a garage sale in college, before college. And it was just like Daniel Craig and Nicole Kidman's faces and a polar bear, and that was it. Yeah. No. So, yeah, it's gone now. I can't remember when, but it happens.
That might be for the best. I think that movie kind of creeped me out. Like,
what, Daniel Craig's face, or just a puzzle of?
I think just the animation style. Like, I would see the trailers and stuff. I remember when it came out, but I never even attempted to see it. I was like, this isn't for me.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm not this child me isn't the demographic.
You knew that already,
right? You'll appreciate this because no one else in my house seems to appreciate it.
Let's hear it.
This summer,
yeah,
Space Jam 2.
Oh yes, the respacening. That's not right. That's not what it's called. Yeah,
it's basically the same thing.
Yeah. So it's dropping this summer.
Yeah.
How have I had my head in a hole for that one?
Let me find the exact date. Because this is important to me.
Was the first one important to you?
Oh, hell yeah. A New Legacy.
Really?
A New Legacy, that's what it's called. And it's July 16th, bro.
Wow.
Bro. Produced by LeBron James, Ryan Coogler, Justin Lin, some other people I don't know. Bro, this is what I'm talking about.
I know LeBron, I know Ryan Coogler, as everyone should.
Bro, is Jim Carrey in this movie?
See,
it's a bunch of basketball players I've never seen in my life. Michael B. Jordan, Gabriel Iglesias, Don Cheadle.
They're not playing the basketball players.
You don't know that. Jim Carrey does what he wants.
Yep.
Yeah, starting forward. The other ones. Okay, the rest of them are voice actors. Okay. What fun. Nice. I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Yeah. That sounds cool.
I would
like to see it. I do appreciate a good sequel. But I was never like attached to the first one.
I had a blast. The theme song is a banger.
How did you Sierra, how old are you? Are you 23?
Yeah, I'm 23.
You're 23. How old were you when the first one came out? You weren't born yet, were you?
Out.
I'm not trying to insult.
No, okay. So I'm seeing it came out in 96.
Okay.
So I didn't exist. But
No.
But they played that shit on Cartoon Network all the time. They loved playing it on Cartoon Network because it's a classic. It's a phenomenal piece of cinema.
Oh, cinema. What a great word. But speaking of Cartoon Network, as a child, do you remember how much you enjoyed dogs, please. No more. Calm it down. Do you remember how much you loved Powerpuff Girls?
Bro, I still love the Powerpuff Girls.
But I feel like it was just...
Bro, it's fire. It's fire.
Yeah.
You know how many hoops I, the consumer, have to jump through right now in my old age just to find that level of basic female representation and girl power and non-exploitative representation of girl power is difficult. Powerpuff Girls is right there, right where you need it to be, in your face at all times. What's
like the realistic, like the modern version of Chemical X? Is it alcohol?
Chemical X. That's a good question.
And why wasn't it in like a box that looked like it was like a box that like granulated sugar or flour could come? You know what I mean?
Not like a special jar.
It's like, what is this? Yeah.
Weird.
Just something I made in the
bowl.
lab.
Just a weird flask.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yes,
what
yes.
is modern day? What is real Chemical X? Is it just Coca-Cola? Is it? Because
I'm
we
sure
don't know
it's
what's in Coca-Cola, bro.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's something more potent than that. I'm not a huge pop person, but I'll do a root beer every now and then. Are you a Coca-Cola person?
I used
pop
to
in
be.
general?
I used
Yeah.
to be, but it
Cool.
like I can't drink soda. I don't know if it's like the corn syrup in it or what, but it like stays in my throat even while I'm drinking it, and it's too
Gross.
much. So like I can drink Sprite,
Yeah.
but that's like I can drink Sprite or I can drink one of those like Mexican Cokes that have like actual sugar in it, you know, like in the glass bottles you can buy, and that's like it. I don't really drink anything else, and I rarely drink those.
Yeah, same here. I'm more of it's got to be a very, very, very rare occasion that I'm like, hey, let me get a root beer or just some kind of other pop, but I don't have to drink it excessively. I honestly just drink coffee and orange juice excessively. That's really about it, but it's treated me well thus far.
We got, I think I told you, but we got like a really cool coffee maker for Christmas. Makes like coffees and teas and like hot and cold. And
yes,
we were drinking coffee and having a lot of fun. And then we were like, we clearly have a sugar intake problem. So we switched to tea.
Sorry, that's not funny.
And then we realized we still have a sugar intake problem. And so
what?
It's not as bad with tea, but I also was like, damn, this is some good tea. And I was like drinking tea basically instead of water. And I was like, this is a mistake. And so then we switched to like these my parents switched to these like cold infusers. They're like tea bags, but you just put them in cold water and it flavors the water, and it's not tea, but it's similar and it's really good. Then my brother told my mom that we should get Sweet and Lows, so now we have a bunch of fucking Sweet and Low in the house. And
no,
like we have like 300 packs of Sweet and Low in the house, and
oh my gosh,
sometimes I'll do those, but it's a completely different taste from just like regular sugar or something. So
what about like those little, I honestly forgot Sweet and Low existed. And I feel like anytime I see a little pink packet, it's going to be like in some, really nice diner where you can just load it up in your coffee. But
never
what about,
in my life.
Never in your life? What about the raw? Like the
Yeah, I used to drink those I used to use those all the time at Panera because I thought they were cool.
Yeah.
We don't have those. I mean, honestly, like we're trying to just cut sugar.
Yeah.
In general, the goal is to just wean myself down from like needing a very small amount of sweeteners to like enjoy my teas and stuff, or just using like fruit or something to supplement like just using straight sugar.
Yeah.
So we're working on it.
Yeah. Well, more power to you.
Lasted like we had like a strong week or two, I want to say. And now we decided to buy bread for chicken sandwiches, and then someone bought a box of minute rice.
Oof.
And someone else bought 2 bottles of wine when we were specifically supposed to stop drinking, and I poured my whole half bottle of rum down the drain like a whole alcoholic montage because I thought we were going hard and going strong, and apparently it was mistaken.
Oh, dude.
That's fine.
This isn't like Rocky or anything.
It should have been. We agreed to go hard. We agreed to go hard and commit. And then by the weekend, we're buying wine bottles. But it's fine.
Fighting hard, fighting strong.
Fine.
Sorry.
It's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine.
And there's another Ryan Coogler plug too from Creed.
Isn't there aren't they doing Creed 3?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'd watch it if so. But I really liked the soundtrack for Creed.
I went with my friend Caroline to see Creed when it came out, and it was so funny because we had so much fun because I think she said she had seen like Rocky 3 or 4 when she was younger, and I was like, I ain't seen any of these suckers. But I just know there's a black guy now, so that's where I'm gonna be at. And we went in there and we were like, we sat all the way in the back and we were just like freaking out because it was fun. It was really good. And the soundtrack was dope, like you said. And we had like my girl
wonderful.
Tessa Thompson up in there cutting up, handling business. And then it was
wonderful.
like at the end when I think it's like that one Meek Mill song at the end that morphed into like the original Rocky theme, and we like jumped out of our seats. We were like, they're doing a thing.
I think that's the one. There's one with like, I don't know if it's, I'm trying to think of who all is singing on this, but it morphs into, yes, I think you're right. It's Meek Mill, but I'm pretty certain Donald Glover is singing on there also.
Oh, I didn't
know.
That.
Oh man, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, yep. But I would play, there are a couple of those that I would play in my brief stint in the gym a couple of years ago when Creed was available to stream on Hulu. I was like, yeah, I'm really gonna get it in and
back
take it
in
seriously.
The day, honestly.
Oh my gosh,
that's a big mood.
You gotta laugh. It is a big mood, but you know what's also a big mood? Drinking coffee black. I love it. In speaking to your sugar thing, I don't know if I could go back to having a little something in there to sweeten it up. I do a chai tea latte every now and then with like a shot of espresso. But that's like once in a great while when I'm like, you know what, this is, let me splurge on myself and get something, that's not really healthy but tastes delicious. That has a little bit of caffeine in there to give me a boost. So, but yeah, black coffee itself is, I don't really know like when it happened or when it finally rang home that I found it more delicious than adding cream or sugar, but I do it every day. I drink many cups a day in the early morning of it.
I want to go to there. Like, I just have like, I can't, I don't think I'm ever going to get to that point just because I might get there with tea, but I don't think I'm ever going to get there with coffee because, like, I've always just had such a sweet tooth. Like,
right on.
Pretty much everything I eat or drink, like, somehow has, like, an element of sweetness in it. Either if it's, like, a honey glaze or, like, just adding, like, fruit or something to, like, a fish dish or something. Like, it's not even just my drinks. Just
right on.
I'm so bad at those.
That would be a really good title for like either an album or like your memoirs.
That's why I'm so bad at this. Oh,
wow! Man, this just took a really dark turn.
That's probably more like my memoirs. Like, why am I so bad at this?
Man, I feel like that's an every person's memoir. Why am I so bad at this?
Why?
But that should be a fleeting. That's hopefully like a fleeting. Feeling, fleeting statement. I mean, would you ever write like a little memoir or compose like a collection of essays about your personal exploits, whatever they may be, like recording or being a college kid or just being a young woman?
I think I would. I feel like I think about that a lot when I'm trying to be reflective on like my life and stuff. In my head, I kind of think of things in terms of like how I would write them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And like I've thought before about trying to write something or read something about pain and how like pain has influenced my life so much.
Mm-hmm.
There's like personal pain and like emotional pains, but even most of mine are just literally just physical, like the way my wrist was messed up for like 4 years because the doctor didn't listen to me, and now my back is still messed up and all these other things. Like, I've thought about that.
I mean, yeah, that underlying thread, as far as how you should lay something out or what standpoint you're going to be writing that down from, or your reflections on your life. I think that would be awesome. I would definitely read it.
What about you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think about it a lot. I mean, I kind of have always obsessed over wanting to write something down whatever it is and be able to look back on it and really stand by it,
Mm-hmm.
and be able to feel comfortable with like the mirror being reflected back on me in that way, and just being like, yeah, this is where I'm at now. I really don't care. I'm not writing it for attention to a degree, because I mean, I'm like writing it for a reason.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? But just overall wanting to say like, hey, I'm kind of a weird person, or I grew up this way, or I found myself in this, you know, fairly funny and awkward situation, or, you know, whether that was like in high school,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or college, or what have you, or just working, you know, in my late 20s and now 30. I want to have something to show for, I guess, my life, just some type of document to be like, yeah, yeah,
Right.
I agree, you know. So I don't know.
You know
I
what'd
don't
be
know
really
really
crazy?
what.
I didn't mean to interrupt your thought. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. What would be really crazy?
If we just writing in general about, I think, the forms that racism takes in this vague, unknown Midwestern region in which we live, because I almost entered a short, not even a short film contest, just like a photograph art type of contest
Yeah.
last year, and it was I was going to write it about the systemic segregation where I live,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking at the stats, and this is like one of the most segregated cities, I think, in the country. Yeah, in the country, it's one of the most segregated cities in the country, and they were looking at the like economic growth and the income levels between like white and black households and individuals, and the level of education and the populations of the schools in the area, and actually the way that they function. And I think that our education, I think our school have like the same rates of segregation essentially that they did in like the 80s.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and it was really interesting. I didn't figure out exactly the lens I wanted to do it in until it was like until the deadline, which was like 2 weeks. Like it was like a week and a
Yes.
half. But it's
Yes.
super interesting to me how crazy it is. And like when I tell people stories about like where I live and like the high school I went to and everything, like people's like jaws drop. Like they're like, "What? Are you
Yeah.
okay?" They do.
Yeah.
People that
Yeah.
live here, I tell them the stories.
It's
And they're
crazy.
like, "What?"
Yeah. Absolutely. I
Like,
mean, and that's something, I mean, for me too, if you were going to write from that standpoint, you know, and speak personally about how that, you know, has definitely impacted and affected who you are as an individual. For me, I always balk at, and I'm terrible at it. I'm like, man, like I'm so worried that if I want to write something or publish something, there's always going to be some type of history, you know, that helps to lay that framework so
yeah.
people can put your writing and your thoughts into perspective about this is what happened to me, or this is what I'm feeling, or this is how people view me, or and for me, the history on that, I'm like, how how do I untangle that research, and how do I make sure that the research comes across as subjective,
Mm-hmm.
but that my point is being heard and it seems, you know, relatable, not just on the surface, but you know, can reach readers as far as like, well, shit, yeah, I can definitely feel what they're feeling. Does that make sense? That seems, I don't know. Does that kind
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
like, I thought about that too, and
Like you
just
want it to
how,
be like authentic, but you also want people to be able to like relate to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, you know, and so yeah, I've given that thought, and I've wanted to write all kinds of stuff. To be honest with you, all kinds of, my writing, and the ironic thing is, my writing is in not really that strong. You know, my vocabulary is okay. I'm not but I'm not really the strongest writer. But there are characters, and stories in my head and in my life, that I've wanted to get across to people for a long time. So
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, I don't know, like there's something that I could see that would be a really good random short film, or this would be a really good script. Or it's like, no, this is never going to happen. Let's just convert it into a book, and I can maybe keep my characters the way that I see them. But then again, I have the characters. I know what they're like. I know how I'd like them to sound, but shitty writer. So it's just, I'm really wanting to hone that craft this year.
I agree. I feel that a lot, where I'll have so many ideas, and when I was in college or high school and I would write, I really wouldn't even bother to write or type anything out until I had like 90% of my game plan intact. But I'm like, that's so limiting because you don't get a chance to like revise and brainstorm and let yourself just like let one idea, turn into a new one or something different or an offshoot. And you don't like give yourself that chance when you're trying to make it perfect on the first try. And so this year, my goal still is to create a writing portfolio and be reading and writing like at least once a week. And I still haven't done that. And it's super frustrating, especially just not even really like reading, because I have so many books and so many things that I'm really interested in. I think part of it is I just get caught up in like an anxiety about reading, because I used to just like inhale books. Like I used to read all the time, and like my mom would even be like, okay, I'm not going to be a parent that tells you to not read, but I also like really need you to like do anything else. Like do like one chore. Like you've been doing this for like you've been sitting over there for 5 hours. Like I do need you to do something else.
Young
and then go back to reading. But
young Sierra, please come eat at the table.
Please.
Yeah.
Yes. But once I really messed up my back, I couldn't really read anymore. Like I could barely read for class, like let alone just reading for fun. And just trying to read at a certain point would like stress me out a lot, because I could feel it was like a domino effect of like, okay, I know if I have to sit down and read for a long time or like read a whole chapter, I'm going to start to cause like a spasm. And then it's like, okay, well, the anticipation of a spasm is, causing me to tense up more, which is causing me to be in more pain, which is causing me to, and it would just snowballing. That's the word. Right. Snowballing. Now it's gotten a lot better and it's a little more manageable, but I'm still not reading. And I'm still having that apprehension of like reading not being a positive experience for me, even though I love reading and I've built me up as like a person and all my experiences,
Me too. Very much. It definitely, do you feel that when you were an avid reader and just absorbing all of these different stories, whether they were real, even though, most things are based in some type of fact or truth, do you feel like it gave you a certain level of, I don't know, just a certain level of confidence? Not to say that if you have it or had it, you weren't already confident, but do you feel like it just kept you on solid ground a little bit? Because for me, I felt like, when I was able to just knock out, a memoir or, some type of thriller or a mystery, just whatever I would read, all the way up until I think high school when it slowed way down. I don't know. It really built me up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like you said, like I could read like a thick book in, like a couple days. I would like have dreams about it. Like it was fun. It's when you're able to like process a story like that and really bond with the characters and like the events and like the world and what's happening, like it's fun. You feel better. You feel more like imaginative when you can put yourself into that world and that scenario. You feel like, you can do those things. Like if I was like deep in like an Avatar book or something, I'd be like, oh, I'm an earthbender,
Yeah, part of me felt like hot shit. I guess that's the long and short of it. And I really felt like something. I felt like something. I have all these examples or these stories of courage or humor to look back on, or that were boosting me up because I was reading them. And yeah.
And it does just like improve your vocabulary and like a bunch of other, it strengthens other like cerebral muscles, I guess. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it is making you smarter and more able in different ways. I missed that. I'm gonna name this.
That's you. Can you hear me?
The Illiterates.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this video. I really appreciate every minute of screen time that you give to my content. And I know exactly how many minutes it is because that is the beauty of data. If you like this video, give it a like. If you didn't like this video, give it a like anyway. Yeah, that'll show me. And leave a comment so I know exactly how you feel. Have a good evening and enjoy the moon.